In this module, we're going to take a look at using Adobe InDesign to create a lesson plan, basic editing, and publishing the lesson plan. Our ultimate goal is to produce a document for printing, much like the one you see here on your screen. So let's start off by opening up a new document. File, New Document. I'm happy with this size, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on Create. I created the text in a Word document earlier, so I just need to copy and paste it over into my InDesign page. Now, as you can see, I definitely seem to be missing most of my text. But first, I want to get it into a starting point where I'd like my heading to be. And by using the resizing boxes on the side of the text box, I am able to pull out the text box into my ideal size. To see the remaining text, you will notice a small red plus symbol on the lower corner of the text box. By clicking on the red plus sign, the remaining text will be shown in another box. Once again, I have the ability to move the text box to both the size and position that best suits my document. A great editing feature of Adobe InDesign is by using the text frame, we can add columns to our page, and it automatically adjusts the text to fit. I'm going to make 2 columns here. The great thing about this feature in Adobe InDesign is as you adjust the size of the font or the size of the boxes, the text will automatically adjust into the correct boxes. So I'm going to increase the size of my heading or title to show you exactly what I mean. All I need to do is highlight the heading and move over to the Properties panel on the right and adjust the size of the font being used. I can play around with the sizes until it's perfect for this project. As I'm making these adjustments, you will notice that the text automatically moves into the columns below. It is important to note that even though the text in our case was copied and pasted from another document, I can edit it by merely clicking onto the text and changing the words if needed. The same thing can be done in the body of the text too. I'm going to go ahead and change both the font type and size of each heading. You can be creative as you would like when editing this font. To create bullet points, we only need to highlight the required text, move over to the right panel, and choose the bullet points that we'd like to use. A personal preference of mine is not to have hyphenations in my text box, so this is an easy fix. Highlight the area you would like to remove the hyphens from, move over to the right panel and find Paragraphs. Click on the small 3 dots, and you can go ahead and uncheck hyphens. Now that I've got my document basics done, it's time to move on to the creative part. I want to add an image to my heading. Click anywhere on the gray portion around the document and move to the right panel and click on Import File. I've got an image saved to my desktop. So once you've found the image you're looking for, click Open. To get the image to the size and place I'd like it, just click and drag your mouse to the desired area and the image will drop into that space. Obviously, we now can't see the text box, so I need to move the image behind our font. By clicking on the image, options are available to me in our right Properties panel. Click on the Arrange button, and you will be given the option to move the image backwards. To make our title stand out more, we can go ahead and change the color of this text to white. By highlighting the area and clicking on the Fill option on the Properties panel, you'll be able to make your color selection. To make it pop even more, I'm going to add a box behind the font. On the toolbar found along the left, select the Rectangle tool and simply draw the rectangle to the desired size and area. Select the desired color on the Properties panel under the Fill option. I think I'm going to go ahead and change the opacity to make it more effective and still allow the image to shine through. By clicking on the opacity option, we can move the slider up or down to find exactly what we're looking for. Once again, I'm going to need to move the rectangle behind the font, and this is done by clicking on the Arrange option on the right Properties panel and moving it backwards. To add a little depth and dimension to our image, I'm going to play around with the Gradient Feathering tool found on the left-hand side. This is a really easy tool to have a really dynamic result. With your mouse, draw a line where you would like your gradient to start and end. If you're not happy with the outcome, you simply undo the action. On the Mac, this is done with the shortcut Ctrl-Z. If you would prefer the gradient to be in a different angle, once again, just draw a line with your mouse from the start to the ending point. To add an image into the body of the text, simply click anywhere on the outside of the document and select Import File. Draw the area you would like to add your image to, and you can move it around if you need to. Now to balance out the text in my columns, you just need to find where you would like to find the break, and hit Enter a few times, and you will see that it distributes the text nicely. InDesign is a wonderfully easy, intuitive program. I encourage you to play around with the properties and the tools so you're able to find the aesthetic you're looking for. To publish or share the document, move your mouse to the Publish Online option, which you'll find in the top right of your workspace. Name your file and hit the highlighted Publish button. This will give you the option of viewing the document, sharing it on Facebook, Twitter, or as an email attachment, or to copy the link as a document. I hope you've enjoyed learning to use the basic elements of Adobe InDesign to create outstanding lesson plans. Remember, the same basic features can be applied to newsletters, assignments, or student reports. Thanks for joining me today.